We're live, Mr. Wade.
Night. Good night. Good night. Good night to the Belizean people, both at home and abroad, and around the world that view us. Want to special thank you from us to you, and thanks for all your support, and thanks for sharing our Belizean Affairs show. Again, I want to say good night and welcome to our Belizean Affairs show number 264 on a blessed Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. And I want to say it's always a pleasure to be in company of a senior, Mr. Leonard Brackett. So I feel I feel blessed. Over the years, we've been steadfast in our quest in educating our people, public service to our people,
Yes,
and
sir.
we are about people and our nation. And we don't say nothing that is not true. We don't pull anything out of our back pocket. Again, we always show and tell. And hopefully tonight we have in the background Mr. Gregory Brackett, who is our show and tell. Thank him for having that engineering in IT and know-how. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even go there because I don't have the know-how. But it's always a pleasure. Good night, and we're like little 10 minutes off, but better late than never. And we always start our program with a prayer, followed by a reading. And again, for the public, we are not a church service. We are not pastors, but we do know that there is a God,
Amen.
and that's the God that we serve. We. So, on that note, I want to ask Mr. Leonard Brackett to please lead us in a prayer, and I will do a reading after he had lead us in the prayer. Mr. Brackett?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'll just bow my head and say a little prayer. Divine loving Father, thou who art our Creator and the Creator of heaven and earth and all that in them are, into thine hand we commend ourselves. We pray that thou mayest continue to guide and protect and bless our family members, friends, and loved ones wherever they are. We pray that thou mayest continue to bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, and that thou would bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership as well. We pray that thou mayest bless those people who are in harm's way, who are experiencing tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes and volcanoes and wars all over the world. Loving Father, we pray that thou mayest bless each and every human being. Be merciful unto us all, thou knowest our hearts, our desires, even our most secret thoughts. And to those who need food and clothes and shelter, we pray that thou mayest grant them some reprieve. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Are you back, Mr.
Thank
Chairman?
you. Thank you, Leonard, for that warm prayer. And my people, Leonard, lead us in a word from Hebrew. Uh, I was sent this passage here tonight, so I'll read it because they had asked me to read this passage from Hebrew chapter 1, 1 to 14. It reads, long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. And he upholds the universe by the word of his power. After making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high, having become as much superior to angels as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs. For to which of the angels did God ever say, "You are my son, today I have begotten you"? Or again, "I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son"? And again, when he brings the firstborn into the world, he says, "Let all God's angels worship him." Of the angels, he says, "He makes his angel winds, and his ministers a flame of fire." But of the Son, he says, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, God, your God has anointed you with the oil of gladness beyond your companion. And you, Lord, laid the foundation of the earth in the beginning, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. They will all wear out like garments. Like a robe, you will roll them out, roll them up. Like a garment, they will be changed. But you are the same, and your years will have no end. Unto which all of the angels has he ever said, "Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet"? Are they not all ministering spirits sent out to serve for the sake of those who are to inherit salvation? That's my reading from Hebrew 1 to chapter 1, 1 to 14. Was a lengthy, but it's residue. Leonard, the scripture
Yes,
is
sir.
always residue. Um, Leonard and my people, both at home and abroad, there's a lot going on in our country. Um, you know, as of right now, for sure now this country, Belize, is in election mode. Um, there is nothing going on in respect of a priority for people and nation. Priority right now for this administration and the opposition is electioneering. And sadly, Leonard, it's a repetitious cycle. Um, there's a lot going on in terms of their actions. in terms of the last election, the things that they have done, abuse the taxpayers' purse, abuse the nation, the people's resources, abuse everything that the nation has, and they use it in the name of electioneering, in the name of garnering votes, in the name of buying votes, in the name of promises. Come and vote for me and you will get a lot. And sometimes that very same lot, they promise it to three, four persons, that very same one. And come on, the villages will have an area that we will subdivide for the villagers, for lots, and for the young people and for the villagers to gain access. When lo and behold, past and present, when they do that, the only people that get these lots are people that are close to them, their family and friends, their cronies, but not the purpose and for the people that it was intended for in the first place. Happened in the past, continue to happen as I speak. People from all over come and garnishes these lots, and left out are the villagers that's supposed to get that expansion for the villages and for the villagers, their children in that village. But it does not happen that way. That's the perception. See how they garner the acquisition from Feinstein in the name of the people, right? What benefit? What benefit is the people going to get from that acquisition? Mr. Briseño, I ask you again for the 199th time. But you are the boss, you do whatever you want to do, and you use whatever name you want to use. Nobody question you. You could care less about our Constitution from eternity, past and present. Dean Barrow and his UDP and the UDP do not respect our Constitution. Mr. Briseño and the PUP, same. You are the worst violators of our Constitution, right? You should be ashamed of yourself. And you keep lying and lying and lying and lying for your own political gain, right? So the people inherit these lies from you. They inherit it. And they are okay with it, right? And you think that you're glorifying, right? And you're doing the right thing, right? And you come with more lies. Oh yeah, you have another PUP manifesto which you haven't even completed. Your first manifesto when you came into office, when you were there marching with with the teachers. And yes, I will pass Kumkat as I sit. I will do redistricting when I win in 2020. And all the rest. Right? I will lower the gas that the UDP got gas too high. Too high. So you give me that break, you sit down. As I sit down, I will lower the price of gas. You forget all that. I not pull not out of my backpack. It come from your very own mouth. Your venomous mouth. Nothing but poison comes out of your mouth and pass government. Have not completed your manifesto to the people, but what you do, you rape and pillage for your own personal. Continue to do it. People from all walks in Guatemala comes and vote in our election. And you, Mr. Man, you say how much these people was going to get from your very own mouth. It's electioneering now. I'm in election time now. People are telling me, Mr. Wade, I'm coming from Peten, right? And I live in Peten. I used to live here in Belize. I live the Peten now, and I got so much votes the Peten where they pay $300, Leonard,
Mm-hmm.
per vote. $300 that comes every election, right? Every election they come and decide our election. But yet you don't want redistricting, you don't want to, to have equal representation, and you don't want to the election and boundary to be restructured. You don't want nothing, you don't want to hear nothing about making election free and fair. Free and fair. You don't want to hear that.
And following the constitution too, Mr. Wade.
You hire the top-notch attorneys in this country, pay them with the taxpayers' dollars just to defend
The
the
indefensible.
rights of the Belizean people, so that they do not get it, so that they do not get their God-given rights. Constitution says it clear what you should and should not do. What you, Mr. Briseno, should and should not do. The Constitution states it. But yet, you don't give a hoot about that. Dean Barrow, same thing. Should have done from 2004. But no, it was going to disenfranchise you and your power. Mr. PUP, same thing, you don't want to do it because it's going to disenfranchise you and your power. Little fools over there got 2,000 people, 3,000, and they say that, they're glad nobody can show up to contest them. They're glad that they didn't have any contestant. Who does that? Huh? You don't hear none of them mention about redistricting. You don't hear none of them mention about honoring the constitution of this country. But what you hear them saying, come, Guatemalans, I'll give you $300. Come. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you call yourself Belizean. You call yourself representative of the Belizean people. You should call yourself representative of Guatemala. That's what you should call yourself, right? And the people are que viva Belize. They don't know what is catching them. Que viva UDP. Que viva PU. They don't know what is catching them. And it's all good. It's all good. You could care less about the other populists, right? Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. So I say this, Leonard, I say this to our medium here. My people, this election is very crucial, right? A vote for the People's United Party is going to be a vote for taking us to republic, to be a republic of Belize, taking us to tear up our constitution. I don't mean go through it and bastardize it. They're starting already. They already have the key to it, right? Do they care about we? Hell no. They care about their own gratification, right? That's what they care about, right? And we are so dormant. So my people, this election come March 12th is very crucial, right? I urge you, there will be the change now that should happen on that ballot. We'll have 7 Belizean Justice Movement candidates, and you will have at least 10 independents. That will make up your coalition government. I'm willing to work with any independent candidate to make up a government. You think that Briseno could do a better job than us? You think that Shine Barrow or Tracy Panton could be a better job than us? You think that all the Red Julius or the Musas or Call them out. The Marines, the spots could do a better job than us. Who were there before they entered politics? Who were there before they became the tax collectors of our country? Who were they? So, the same way you keep giving these crooks, vultures, hyenas, that continuous vote, and knowing darn well after you give them that vote, the word gonna be a shouldn't have me. I hear it. Oh man, for centuries now, I've been hearing that. The next day, I should have me. So do you want to continue that? So the change will be, if you miss this, dog will eat your supper. You think that they will do any better to you for 5 more years? And the opposition, do we have one? You see what they are doing? Fighting who want to, who will use the color red. They're fighting who want to be the leader. They're fighting. That's what they're fighting for. No interest in the Belizean people. What they are paid to do. Have the Belizean people back. But what are they doing? So, make us the next government or make us the opposition party. Make us the opposition, then you will have an opposition that will fight tooth and nail in that house for you. I will be one of those that will fight them tooth and nail. You want $1,000? Show me what you are going to do with $1,000. In fact, they will have to bring back all that they have stolen. Because I will put it out there for the world to know who they are. Any one of them doing that, all of them watching each other back. No say that too hard, or no go say that in the house. But I hold no holds bar. I will fight for my country and my people. So you don't want to make us the next government? Make us the opposition. Then you will have somebody to fight for you. Not afraid to tell them the ills that they are doing to you. Not afraid to tell them all the bad things that they have done. Not afraid to tell them all the money that they have squandered that your children could have been benefiting right now. Right? Can't even get a piece of land. I will fight for you. Make sure you ban Belize and get your inheritance you rightfully deserve. And now that's foreigners that come in and getting 2,000, 1,000, and all these big businessmen with briefcases. No, that will not happen. We will seize and desist. In fact, I will try to make the parcel take away what they have and give them just what they should have in our country. So, that's how I feel. You don't have to like it. It's your God-given right. I have my rights too. And I try to exercise my rights. Those who are afraid to do that will always stay in the back and be taken advantage of. Exercise your rights. Call a spade a spade. So, my plea to you, you don't want to elect us as a government, a coalition government. Elect us as your opposition. That's my plea to you, the Belizean people. Leonard, back to you. Sorry, took up some time there. Pass it over to you.
Sir, so, thank you very much for giving me the chance to participate in the program alongside with you, Mr. Wade. And I want to continue along the same vein that you were referring to. And I always go after the PUP, but in this instance, I want to go after some malignant, treacherous traitors of our country under the name of UDP. I'm not just referring right now, well, I will be referring right now to the current ones, But it's not because we haven't had other UDP who were traitors themselves. Because until I die, I will fight anybody that is a traitor to my country. I don't care what color they wear. I don't care what party they belong to. I don't care who they are. It could be from the king, the governor general, the deputy governor general, and, for example, not only being a deputy governor general himself, but also being the member of the secretary of the cabinet, other members of the cabinet, including the prime minister himself, and all others, going all the way down. I'm no respecter of any of those cons and traitors. I have no respect or regard for them because, in the first place, they should not be managing the country the way they are doing it. And like I said, whether they're PUP, UDP, or any kind of P whatsoever, it is my sworn commitment until I die to continue being a vanguard of my country. So here I go. We have a gentleman by the name of Mr. Shine Barrow, for example, to whom I'm directing my comments at right now, as well as to the general public, who grasped or grabbed, like what would I say in a Creole, like he grabbed the position of leader of the opposition by virtue of the UDP having 5 members in a parliament. So he and his auntie and Mr. Pat got together under the guise of his father and Mr. And his uncle and Mr. Perifit and Mr. August and others who tried to take over the United Democratic Party, being one of the 2 mass parties in the country, to hijack it and keep it under their control without following the laws and the bylaws of the party's constitution. He himself, after grabbing that position because he had 3 out of 5, which legitimately then gives him the right to go to the governor general and ask to be made into the leader of the opposition, therefore slapping out of Mr. Faber's hand that position because Mr. Faber could not get 3 out of the 5 for him to continue being in that position, which he had occupied before. He should not have done that before consulting with Mr. Faber, who had held that position that he slapped out of Mr. Faber's hand, and who Mr. Faber, at that point or time, was the leader of the party. It's disgraceful for him to have committed such a treasonous and treacherous act. Then turn around and tell Mr. Faber he not only take away the leader of the opposition position from him, but that Mr. Faber should resign the leader of the party position. But he never tell Mr. Faber why he want Mr. Faber resign the leader of the opposition status. He thought he was slick enough to trick Mr. Faber into agreeing to that dastardly proposal of his, until he offered Mr. Faber that if Mr. Faber resigned his leadership position, then he, Mr. Shine Barrow, would yield back the position or resign the position of leader of the opposition in the House. What did that mean then? That he was going to vote on behalf of Mr. Faber and Ms. Pantan for them 3 to be the ones that decide who the leader of the opposition going to be, when in fact he had already had his auntie and Mr. Pat and himself to carry that bucket of water. He was trying to be slick and smart. He was trying to be a con. Because had Mr. Faber accepted his indecent proposal at the time and went ahead and resigned, he would not have resigned the leader of the opposition position as well. He would have grabbed that same leader of the party position to which he had aspired as well. So from way back then, the man the fight to try run the party and control the party, to use the party for his own personal aggrandizement and burnishing of his credentials so he could get back to America. In fact, in the position of leader of the opposition in the House, he went and asked for a diplomatic passport so he could go to America. And when he went on the trip, he said he had come to America to take care of his country's business, when in fact, he was not a part of the cabinet. His party was not running the government. So he lied on that occasion as well. And when the people out here was interviewing him and referring to him as the leader of his country, he didn't correct them, try to explain to them he's not the leader of his own party, much less his country. And his party was not the party in power of his country. That he was just a member of parliament who happened to gain the support of 3 out of the 5 members of parliament for him to become the leader of the opposition in parliament. At every step of the way, he was grabbing at straws to try and build a castle and fortify his position. But little did he realize that his conduct then and thereafter, as we have now in hindsight, his disgraceful conduct, his malignant attitude, put him in a situation where he then started to fight with everybody in the party that wouldn't follow his lead. Mr. Faber got into problems, and the party pressure Mr. Faber to give up the leadership of the party. He grabbed at that too. Because that's what, like I said earlier, he aspired to acquire. Leadership of the party, leadership of the House, and leadership of the party. He wanted to do like his granduncle had done, Mr. Dean Linder, who in 1969 wanted to become the leader of the NIP party, and because he lost the convention, he went then and took some of the leadership of the party and created his own party, the PDM. So we couldn't beat PUP when we were joined up together. How we would have beat PUP by him taking half of the party? Well, the executive, not because he didn't take too many of the members then. They wouldn't go with him. But all the money used to come to him to finance the party. So he became leader of the UDP when they constituted the UDP in the absence of Mr. Goldson when Mr. Goldson was in England. That's how he was able to wiggle himself into that situation. So then his granduncle became leader of the party as well as leader in parliament. Why? Because the first election that the UDP participated in, we could have won the government right there and then in that first election. But this good gentleman, Mr. Dean Linder, instead of helping with the financing that was being sent to him to finance the party, he decided to finance his colleagues so that when the election was held, more of his colleagues would have been elected, and then he could have become, by virtue of being the leader of the group that had the most in there, he would have then become the leader of the opposition in the House, since he could not become the leader of the party, because at that time, the leader of the party was Mr. Gerald Fairweather, Reverend Gerald Fairweather, who was the first leader of the United Democratic Party from 1973, when it was constituted, until 1976. when the leadership of the party was then turned over to Mr. Lindo at a convention at St. Mary's Hall. But yet, you have some of the people in the United Democratic Party not knowing their history and believing the whitewash stuff that was being fed to them, that Mr. Lindo was the first leader of the party. His father, Mr. Dean Oliver Barrow, became leader of the party and subsequently also became leader of the opposition because Mr. Esquivel had lost his leadership position and he turned over the leadership of the party to Mr. Barrow. I was sent to go and negotiate with Mr. Barrow for us to reconstitute back the party and join up back the neighbor NIP faction along with the rest of the UDP to contest the election with the PUP. He refused. He said he's the new sheriff and he was going to do things the way he wanted and he could care less about what happened to neighbor and the rest of the NIP. For all he cared, he said, his own words, they could go and drop off at the end of the world. He don't want to hear nothing about them. So I went back and I reported to our committee the essence of the discussion I had with him. And we all concluded that, well, obviously he's the leader of the mass part of the party as the UDP. And so let him do what he wanted to do. So we did not provide him any support. And as a result, he lost the 2003 general election as well. And it was only when Mr. Musa was acting out of character that we decided to force some help on Mr. Barrow in order for us to overcome Mr. Musa's PUP party at that time and kick them out of office because they were becoming intolerable. So, despite Mr. Barrows not wanting any support from the NIP faction of the UDP or the neighbor group, we had to force our way to the position of using the mechanisms of the party in order to get, the result that we got, which is then that we won the 07 election. So his father became leader of the party by virtue of Mr. Esquivel stepping down, and then became prime minister by virtue of us forcing the help on him that allowed him to win the 07 election.
Well,
subsequent to that, we now have this gentleman, 3 generations of his family, his granduncle, his father, and now him, being given the opportunity to lead the opposition party, the United Democratic Party. And this idiot is going to go and fight with the people that were not agreeing with how he was running the party because he was trying to take out some of them out of their division so he could put new people that were suborned to him so that he can gain the favor of their delegates, and they rebelled. So now he's going to go to the House and tell the Speaker of the House that he wants to kick those other members of the party who were duly elected members of the House out of his party, and he wanted them out of the House. Imagine, they only had 5 people. And this fool is going to go and tell the Speaker he wants to get rid of 2 of them, and the other third one was not attending any House meeting, his auntie.
Yeah, 2 more minutes there, Leonard.
Yes, sir, I'll wrap it up then. Thank you very much. So then, in effect, some of the members of the National Party Conference decided that they could not tolerate his conduct anymore. And they went and presented a request to the then chairman, Mr. Perifit, for Mr. Perifit to put into play a biannual conference to call to order the duly elected conference members to vote Mr. Shine out of the leadership position. But because Mr. Perifit was put in place to support and back up Mr. Shine, He walked out of the meeting and did not accept what the delegates were telling him. Of course, the delegates have the mandate because it is the delegates that he, as a member of the committee, is subordinate to. Because he refused to have that meeting, the delegates went ahead and had their meeting anyhow and kicked him out of office, which they had the powers to do, and kicked Mr. Barrow out of office, which they had the power to do. And now we end up with the problem that we have. The PUP running away with the show and misbehaving, mismanaging the country because they have no opposition. Even though the people are being paid to be in opposition, his auntie is being paid to attend meetings at the house, does not show up. And then he won't tell the Speaker of the House that because he has the authority as the leader of the opposition, he won't tell the Speaker of the House that he don't want those other members to attend the committee meetings to which they were assigned before. For all intents and purposes, he was sucking them out of those committees. And he wasn't attending those committee meetings. So the PUP just kept on having meetings and meetings. They kept on going to the house and read loans, 3 readings in one day. They read all kind of documentation, all kind of laws into the constitution or into the system because there's no representative in those meetings. They take the matters to the meetings of the house. And among themselves as PUP, they have fun with it because he, Mr. Shine, don't show up. And the other people then can't go because they can't go without his authority. And that's the issue that we now are confronting. That we don't have a valid and viable opposition to stand against the PUP. And what was left of the opposition in two factions, he, Mr. Shine, they try to put as much people to run on his ticket so that he could turn around later on and say, well, those people that run on my ticket now constitute the new UDP, and it is their delegates that's going to make the decision as to whether or not he stays as leader of the party. When in fact he has already been sacked by the duly elected delegates that currently hold that power. So he's trying to play another fast one. He acts like a mobster, like a gangster.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Leonard. While the politicking, Leonard, the country is left to fend for itself, right? No one
Very sad.
no one
Very,
seems
very
to
sad.
care about the crime and violence. Is at an all-time high, Leonard. My people, crime and violence in Belize is at and from all fronts, crime and violence. You name it, name that crime, and it's happening right here. Too much every day. So uh, the country is fending for itself, Leonard. Our healthcare system is and seems that because they are politicking, they think that the country is okay and everything everybody is along with them, and they put aside all the things that is happening in the country. People don't for to worry about that. People don't for worry about their loved ones that get killed left, right, and center in any way, shape, or form. People don't have to worry about the hospitals bleeding for proper medication, for proper equipment. The teachers are crumbling, and retirees haven't gotten paid. Our security forces need to be enforced, need to be well equipped, and all these things. All the ills of our country, right? No one is looking at it. They don't worry about the little $150 they're getting per week, to go to the grocery store. They come out with two grocery bag, right? Some of us can't even afford to fill our tank. Only the government agencies and the ministers and all of that carry that fuel order book that paid for by the taxpayers, right?
Very
See,
sad.
they
Very
don't
sad,
give a
sir.
hoot. right?
Yeah.
They're not worrying about that, right? They're scrambling and bleeding the taxpayers' coffers, as much as and as how as they can dry the system, right? And then they have it to, they had ringed out all of the juice, right?
Mhm.
Past and present government, when time for an election, they ring out all the juice and they share it wrong to the ministers, the ex-minister, because they are no longer ministers. Here, see your amount here. See how you could do with this, because see how much vote you could buy with this, or see
But
how you
Mr.
could
Weird,
play around with this.
before
Or
they
they tell
cancel
you
the
how they
house,
work.
yeah, but before they cancel the house, they gonna borrow $200 million more to have available, or so that they can have cash flow in the government coffers for them to finance the
So
re-election.
So
And
no worry.
people
Make we
call that.
ring out everything, and you know what? You say every time you go borrow and borrow, we just borrow again. Who dare to stop we? We just borrow again, right? For whatever, right? Just name it and we and borrow, right? But for right now, make we left the treasury dry, right? Make we left it for life support, because if just in case. Now in the vehicle and we get back. Because we find some way for you, Mr. Ex-Minister. You ain't get that one, you ain't get that Prado, you ain't get this one, and I said, always stop it. You want a grader? You want a loser? You ain't get it too.
The last
Right?
time they were, Mr. Weird, the last time they were in government, they sold off all the public work equipment there.
Repetitious cycle. Repetitious cycle. Right? Even the weapon for the army and they sell out, and the security forces. Right? So these people are some. And sadly, Leonard, there are people where the people trust them. you know.
Mr. Weird, I wouldn't say they trust them because I know that they are a bunch of scoundrels and scamps. They prefer
So
them. They prefer them. This is how I describe it.
we left
Okay?
them alone,
They
because you know
prefer
what?
them.
After we don't dip with finger and we come out, when get release 300, and when get release 50, and when get release 100, and when get release 20, and when get release
Plate
a
of food,
barbecue.
plate of food and some couple of beers for
Yes,
the day
yes,
and
yes,
leave
yes,
music
yes. And go around the corner to the representative house, the liquor corner, we got him and get some liquor. And
bacon
whatever
house.
else they have there. I know I
That the,
say where else they got there.
that the bacon
Because
house.
they cater for certain portion of society, right?
Oh
So if
man.
you drink Coke, you ain't gonna leave here where you go get Coke. If you drink Fanta, you ain't gonna leave here where you go get Fanta. If you smoke cigarette
What
from
a,
over yonder, you ain't
what
get
about the
only here.
what about the contraband
I know they
makers them
say.
and the contraband beers them? That at the time when customs supposed to dip on the P's and Q's.
Right? And make we drunk then, because that's the habitual practice then. When drunk then for 12th of March, everybody will be stinking drunk and belly full.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they want. Now we do it the last time, the time before, and the time before, and that's how we do business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And trust me, right? Me and send the taxi go pick up the one, and while the taxi they pick up, you only show only 50. Right? And when send they go pick up his and trust me, when that's wrong there in the corral again. You see, like when they run up cow,
Mm-hmm.
just like that they will do again. When they open the gate, you gone home. Some of them can't reach home because they're so drunk. So drunk.
I remember some instance where some people used to end up the
I
whole
tell you
land.
what I know about, Leonard, and my people, both at home and abroad, and the world.
Mr. Weird, Mr. Chairman.
That what I'm saying is what I know, what I see, and what I hear.
I have Mr. Chairman, I have seen some of the people now then drunk, they're so drunk that then they hold on to the wood pier the for the fence, the paling, and then they
Yes,
pull them down, then they hold on to try stay up, right? But then fall down all in the drain. Because they're
yes,
so drunk, then they pull up on the thing to try stay up, but then they pull it
yes.
out of the position and then they fall in the drain. We have
All we
people
are interested in, UDP and UP, when you get to the gate, you hold the hand and you go, you make sure make sure you see a finger. That's all we want. That's all we interested in. And
Mm-hmm.
the least shirt then when they got, when they dress up in a red and dress up in a blue, or they could have that. Right? We don't take that way from them, right? We make them go, because some of them, then put it on for go to any work, then put it on for, and then they show them and I met some, they wear the UDP. I met a lady, they wear the UDP shirt, and they say they campaign for PUP. I don't know if something me wrong up here, but I had a talk with her, right? In a
Mm-hmm.
village, right? So I don't want to see if she's really, I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she has on the UDP shirt and she's campaigning for the PUP. At least
She
that's
get
what she said to me verbally.
maybe she gets paid by both sides.
You never know.
It's a time to hustle.
Right?
It's silly season.
So we are only talking, Leonard, right now of what is going on right now in the country. No, this is what in any
That's it.
village you go across this country, any town, any city. This is
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm talking about right now. That is exactly what is
What's going
happening
on?
right now, right? As I speak, I think they close off like 9, 10. I think 10 o'clock. I think they told me that they were in the village up to 10 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, you say see them now. Happened last election, and they pass election, and then it happen again because then they round up the people for the corral, the grand corral. Watch the movie. So all I'm saying, Leonard, right, is that I would say by now 2025, people would have been awoke, right? And
Mm-hmm.
to see, to every time they go vote, they get the same thing, right? Every time they go vote, they get the same thing, right? Every time they go vote, whether a town board or a city council or a city election or general election, it's the same thing they get.
And
Same thing.
after the election finish, the same way they treat them. They never want
Yes,
them around or never see them. Then jump in on the
right.
Prado or the other vehicle and they
Right.
run up and down the road and they don't stop to say hi
So,
to nobody because they no
so
time
my
to go
thing
to
is,
vote.
my people, both at home and abroad and the world, do you think that the leaders want to vote for have the country and the people at heart? The country and the people at heart. That's a big that's a tall order, Leonard, to have the country and the people at heart, right? One, it's a tall order because there's so many needs, Leonard, that the country has and the people has, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm just saying is that do the voting populists think about the tall order, or they just think about that very moment? And I don't know how long it takes them to leave their house and come and go and vote for that, maybe like 2 hours or so. I would say max three. You leave your house and right, and it's a repetitious cycle. You get the same thing over and then not forget the promise, Leonard, that they always promise them, right?
Mr. Chairman, can I say something quickly? They left the house and you said they probably spend nearly 3 hours. Let's get them 4 hours. Only
Okay.
extra. They said they didn't line only longer because maybe the line was long. But let's say 5 hours then. I mean let's be magnanimous, right? Then go on and vote. Then get you leave $50. 50 divided by 5 is what? 10, right? So like then they get $10 an hour. It's a weird part of Belize anybody to get $10 an hour. You see how these people are smart enough to figure out for themselves that they could take this $50 because it's it's a higher salary rate than even the $5 where the man then just get to the other day. Because back in before they changed the minimum wage, people may get three something, right?
370.
Okay. So then even at 370 then that $50 I mean more than $10 an hour, right? They're like 3 times them they get paid. So you understand the reason why we call it the silly season? Because people they get overpaid to go sell them boat right
Yes.
for one day.
Yes. One day. Yes.
And then after that, for the next 5 years,
Yes.
they have to figure out a way to survive. Till the next silly
Yes.
season come around again until they start getting another day. But every time
Yes.
them bargain for that $50, let's say $10 an hour or $5 an hour, or even if we're getting 10 hours, they still get paid $5 an hour, which was the highest minimum right now. So they were always being overpaid. That's why when the politicians pay them out for their vote, they don't want to see them no more. The politicians don't own them vote. But they don't understand in our kind of
No, they're
mechanics
not.
here,
No, they're not.
that mindset.
Compute.
And then so I get $100, which is twice as much. And so I get 150 or 200 that are
Yes.
4 times as much. These
Yes.
are the mindset and the mentality when people think about. So and then end up on jokes, so they want to leave $2 to go buy one piece of weed or one stick of weed, or maybe
Yes.
they want one piece of crack. So then they have big money, and some people get $500. So they get 1,000. Some household
Yes.
or some of the richer families and so on, then get one envelope with a
So,
1,000 or 1 2,000.
so,
All these
so,
things
so,
start to
Leonard,
happen, and then they won't
what
even for the
come to
interest
mind?
again they get.
What come to mind? 3 months ago, Leonard, was it 3 months ago? They made a circle the entire country land clinic.
Yeah,
Remember
they
the
still
land clinic?
they still do it. It is still happening.
Who of us here remember or forget, or who of us here could remember land clinic around the country lately? B- Lately, right? I know they talk that what they should have been doing at the lands department. No, election is here. They know that the election was going to call March 5th. This fool here says that, right, man, there is tape, there is leaked footage that they knew long time ago when they were going to call election,
They had they
right?
had decided. They
So
had
I'm not going
decided.
to get into that, but there is leaked tape. Brisenio and his advisors sat in a room
While he was lying.
planning for election, and the date was already called. And he here bantering with us and like, oh, maybe
Lying.
I call it now, maybe because who does that? What kind of a man?
A congenital
I
liar.
don't call him a man, I call him a manure, right? You know, and he feel big doing that, he and his advisors,
And then
big
boast
man
about it.
doing that
Then
to the
boast about it
people and
in their own
nation.
they boast about it in their own words, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, right?
to the public.
So then, and
Yeah.
then he talk, oh yeah, that we spring a relationship king and we this and we spring it, but now he never know this and it's too late and this and that and that and that, right?
Liar, liar,
With this
liar.
circuit, the case the case was in court long before he announced election, long before. So he knew long before. But he
Long before
came to the public and lied, say it just happened. He just knew.
the stuff was in the court, long before he even got elected in 2020, because the stuff was in the court from 2019. And he promised that he was going to, if we
And
gave him the vote, he
sadly,
was going to go and make sure he take care of it.
and sadly, he have Mr. Courtney and him on Courtney and Godfrey Smithy support him with the evilness. He has been supported by these two top notch. I tremble when I even talk to them guys. Cause they the smartest man.
Then think. Then think.
Then the smartest man in this country. And when they talk, you for tremble. Right? I just say that to say, no? I just say that to say what's really going on in this country. Right? And sadly, when they want you, then they tremble, but still they juke the taxpayers in the eye. You know the bill when we catch the taxpayers from this two top-notch attorney, Belizean attorney,
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
to fight,
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
to
Because they're
fight
not just
myself And the group, the Belizean peace movement that is taking the government to court to do the right thing as per the constitution. Who does that? Am I stupid for the say these things? Should I be saying these things? Is it real? Is it true? Do people even care? And that's my thing now too. I ask, do the Belizean people even care about these things?
No.
That it's okay for what these people, past and present, are doing to us, the people and the nation? Huh. But yet, Leonard and my people, well, we did come after them, so they have to come after we. How stupid you sound, Brisenio. Well, the peace movement, oh, then they come after me, so I have to come after them. Wow. You're a very smart man. Very, very smart man. Right? And
Mr. Chairman,
you are the
how much is he
fanatics
spending?
of the People's
How
United
much is
Party
he
God.
spending? How much is he spending to defend that case? And how much these people are taking out of their pocket to fight that case? These people are taking out of their pocket probably 5, 10, 15,000 to fight the case, and he's taking over 200 and odd $1,000 out of the people's pocket.
And yet, Leonard and my people, both at
Yeah.
home and abroad, this fool, he's not a prime minister anymore, for the record. Right? The House is
Well,
dissolved, and
technically
he
he
is
is.
visiting his
Uh,
constituencies so the people could elect him again.
Mr. Wade, technically he is the prime minister. He's the caretaker prime minister, so to speak, until the election is over. After the
But
election,
anyway, whatever he want to call himself.
no. The Constitution provides
Right?
him
Yeah,
and
right.
the existing cabinet stays over
Yeah.
until after the election.
So they all have to do out there defend to the Belizean populace and the Guatemalans,
Light away.
right, to vote for we. To vote for them again. Please give them another chance, and this time, yeah, man. You see the land where me want, and the papers where you got in there for 15 years or 20 years. This time, man, we ain't doing it for you. And you see the road where for push you, and the water where for go, and then the light where for go, and thing. This time, give it a next chance. And you know what? Better than that. We raise the minimum wage, we give one another dollar. Because that thing, we going from 5 now to 6, right?
Oh man,
Huh? That's where then they bring
jackals,
to one of
man.
my people, right? That's where the PUP went up for one, right? When they're having a baby, for a measly dollar and for 3 years, then they have labor over it, then they consult, and then they this, and then they that, and that's what they say when they are in opposition, as we get in, $5. And when they pass that, and before they pass that, my people, both at home and abroad, inflation went up 300%. 300. And they had that baby for $1.30. Right? And that word that the UDP PUP raised it to $5. Be careful of that word. They didn't raise it to $5. The proper way in saying that, they for the people they give you $1.30 on top of $3.70 that was. Well, they're not gonna okay because Bistenio didn't come out of that. I said it wrong, so I said they give because he didn't put a damn penny, right?
But they're not everybody they get paid a minimum salary either, Mr.
Oh,
Wade.
no. It's
I hope
not.
I hope I hope
It's
most
not
people
across the
understand that.
board. It's
Yeah.
not across the board. right?
It's supposed to be,
It's
but it's
supposed to
not
be, but
happening.
yeah,
It's
and
not
then you
happening.
hear the people who's supposed to be fighting for your welfare, the labor department, right? They don't want to touch that when people go and complain that
Mm-hmm.
certain companies are not obeying,
Mm-hmm.
right? So public knowledge, we know what the labor department do and say. Have they helped you know? Get
Nope.
to know. $5 as mandated by the government, right? The government of this country. That the employer refused to pay the employees what was mandated. Some, like you said, Leonard, are paying.
And they make
But
them work extra hours when they're not paid
yes,
them time and a half either.
all I'm saying is that then come with another pitch, raise it to $6. Like then they raise it to $6, you know. They inflate the word. Inflate and they blow people, they leave man their mind, Leonard. You know how that word residue in a gotta laugh. Gotta laugh on that. You know, here they mention that as I sit down and we passing cock, we win again. As I sit down. You hear mention if uno that he could have careless what's in the court, you know, in terms of redistricting and all that and what's going on. But he said lately,
2 years after.
I will do redistricting if uno vote for we again. I could say another 2 years or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere along there. We will think about it and then we have to. It's a hard, tall order because then we have to figure out from the moon to the star to the celestial beings and all the ends are part of the world and we have to figure all that out and it's very expensive and then we gotta make sure that representatives the PUP representative in line with the villages and they get to know this all this that idiot is saying and who swallowed here nothing from the media
Mr.
well
Chairman,
Mr. Man how you went do that or how this or why this no yeah that
it takes 6 minutes. 6 long minutes. That's what the man is talking about, That is so hard to come by. Six
yes
long, difficult minutes to do the whole
very
redistricting and, and, and,
expensive
and, and stuff. One
Talada,
one person, 6 hours.
right?
One person, six
We
hours.
show it right here on our
Crazy, man.
Belizean Affairs show not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. We show it on two different occasions how easy it could be done. In fact, Leonard, do you remember the man, Mr. Edmund Marshallek,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2019?
Another one of
How
them preferred them.
easy.
Another one of them preferred
20,
liars.
no, no, this is 2012. Sorry, I'm not gonna 2012. He's sitting in an interview with his hand crossed and said to the media that was interview him,
Mm-hmm.
oh no,
It's so
the
easy.
UDP was the government, he the PUP staller. Oh no, then they drag their feet. If they want to do it, the man said there is staff words and they mentioned this from 2012, 2012. For those who do not know or refuse to see or hear, I tell you no again.
No, the lying
He
prime minister
sit
can't
back
tell us he can't find the time
and
to get it
said,
done.
it's so easy to done because you know why he said that, Leonard? The UDP mean a power.
Uh-huh.
And that was like a nailing the car with the UDP card. They don't want to do with district and it needed to be done. That
Mm-hmm.
man no fool. That man no a landed man. That man no a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he vote to make the PUP in a good standing and he try put down the UDP, want to do redistricting and it could be done in a X amount of time and there is software. And then comes after that the other the other smart man, Courtney, after the 2019 case. Oh yeah, right after we win 2020, right after the election, we will do redistricting because it's necessary. That's the word, the man who he could came in a court, but I or try sue me, but I could bring that tape back and show you, Mr. Man, that's what you said. You said it's necessary. That's 2019, Courtney. Smart man. The brains piece behind the People's United Party. You
The
should have been the prime minister.
the,
You
the,
run things.
the
All
unelected
in the
one.
Senate, all over, you run things. And you're not afraid to show that you run things. Whether you're verbal, that you speak, or your actions, Mr.
The man,
Man.
the man said we are irrelevant. He said the rest of
So
the
me,
people
I
are
afraid for
irrelevant.
you, Mr. Man. Me afraid bad for you, right? Now you there, the fight we. 2025, Mr. Man. So what happened? You may lie 2019, 2020?
Still we lie.
Or I would have liked for no. You may lie
He
then,
lied then and he lied now.
but now you say no, you know when done. When you say should have been done from 2020, you have a two-tongue, two-faced, and two everything.
Two-head snake.
So that's where we're at, my people. All because of power and money, fame, right? You think they Musa won't give up? They need 2,000 people where they got, or 3,000 people where they got. You think they want Finil with that? You think any or the Mala guy, you think they want or the Shine guy, Mesopotamia? You know how he mentioned a damn thing about let's push the district in since he become leader. Hell no. You know, because that's how we give him the status, leader of the opposition. That's what gave Henry Charles that status. The couple thousand people he has. That's what gave Karim Musa, the minister of police. That's what gave him that status. And disregarding the other constituency that have 9,000, 11,000, 12,000. And all we are telling them to do is to make it equal. Equal. What is so hard to do that? And we tell them that we not like forcefully they tell them that no, the Constitution said that, Brisenio, right? And your minions. The Constitution said that. What happened? You don't care about the Constitution? And remember, you swear an oath, you know, all I know. Swear an oath to what? Serve and protect and abide by the Constitution. Not the Constitution of Guatemala or Salvador or Nicaragua or Honduras or Mexico. The Constitution of Belize. You forget? I just to remind you now. Sad to see the way you guys operate with no power when the people give you that mandate. Sad to see, right? It's a system, habitual practice, and only the people, Leonard, can change that. Only the people. See, they even says some of them pretty soon we don't need certain portion of Belizean to vote for we know. We don't need that. Right? We will not need you anymore to vote for we. Why? See, Island Leaf Village where they pop up by the guy down south way from the one way behind the Honduras. What's his name? Osborne Martinez. He may pop up a hell of a lot of village. Attention, they go on in them village. They even wrote the US aid in them village. People come from the US where they come for, and then they care in them village. Right? They don't care in the tea kettle. They don't care in the roaring creek. They don't care in the cotton tree. They don't care them the Dan Riga. Don't papa. So where they care they? You know, they leave village and where they pop up. And you hear the man say, we have to familiarize the representative with the villages, them. You think that guy's stupid? That guy know exactly what he's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure it does.
I am just, there's a lot more on that, but I just, see, I know that intelligent, right? I can't, right? But I hope there are intelligent people out there where they see these things. I had a dummy, right? But if this dummy could see, man, please open on your eyes on see where them people they do to you. You see where they do to and see where they do to this country. Think about what is their agenda. Put everything together and figure out their agenda. Put it together. Back to you, Leonard. Now, sorry about that. You have the 10
It's all
minutes
right,
here,
man.
Leonard.
It's all right.
Go
No,
ahead.
I don't think I'll need the whole 10 minutes, sir.
Go ahead, Leonard. I said my own.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just leave this alone. Tonight we're talking about politics in general and making reference to the affairs of our country in particular, how they mismanage our treasury, and how they use our treasury to finance their political campaign. And as a matter of fact, not only is that happening long before they declared the election date, but it is still happening right now and will continue to happen up to the date of election and probably a few days after, because there's going to be a lot of cleanup that's going to have to be done after the election is done and over with. So our treasury will still be providing funds for these rascals to achieve their end objective. They don't care who sees, says, or does what, because at the end of the day, they hold the power of governance in their hands. They control the treasury of the public treasury. Previously, they had their super majority, which enabled them to do a whole bunch of bastardization of our constitution and illegal and unconstitutional acts, treasonous acts, I would say, against the country and well-being of the country and our patrimony. So, as I earlier said, I hold no regards, respect, or consideration for these jackals, hyenas, vampires, and vultures, because all they do is prey on the weak. And I would say our country is weak enough to allow these jackals to be mistreating our people like that. And there's no consequence. The people doesn't even use their vote to vote them out. In fact, they keep repeating, giving them success on top of success, despite their evil behavior. Now, as Mr. Golson used to say, the time to save your country is before you lose it. At this point, I would probably say, because we have lost it, somehow or another we got to, at least in the interest of our future generation, develop the internal fortitude to try and fight back one way or another at the polls or with some polls or in whatever manner necessary. The country can only be passed on to future generations if we work at that objective. And because a lot of people are sitting down, sucking their fingers, and just being indifferent, is why we are where we are today. And unfortunately, continuing down the same bad road will only yield us the same outcome, the same bad results. But again, who am I to speak? I'm just one voter. And everybody is entitled to their own ideas, opinions, and conclusions. And it seems to me that people have already concluded that, well, the ones in power to whom they entrusted that authority to govern have connived and schemed and scammed their way into a possible re election, and therefore everybody's throwing up their hand and just saying, well, to hell with it. I would like to be able to do the same, but because I have a blood sworn contract with my country, I cannot countenance the idea of just say, well, to hell with it and walk away. The least that could be done is that we put up a fight and we go down fighting, even though we lose. I refuse to bend my knees and go down on my knees rather than stand on my feet and carry on the struggle. Because despair is not an option, at least from where I come from, in terms of my person, my character, my commitment, my interests, my motivation, and what is it that ails me and keeps me going. I will fight on until there's no more fight left in me. And I'm quite sure, I'm aware of some people who would join me in that endeavor or that effort, which is why I keep my head above the water and continue the struggle. But I wish the burden is not left on a small group of people to carry that process forward, because a lot more people could cooperate and work together to make a difference. Every little bit helps. Every little bit that other people contribute to the effort helps to make the world the better place we all wish for it to be. But for those slothful people who just want to enjoy what others cultivate and reap, I say, woe unto you. That's it, Mr. Wade. For me personally, I have no more to contribute for tonight's program. I'm getting a little bit hot under the collar, and when I get to that stage, I always like to check myself and back off so that I don't go over the railing or over the
Thank
precipice,
you.
no? And
Thank you.
you have a closing thought, Mr. Wade, that you would like for us to.
We get 10 more. It's
No, we could
18,
close early,
20,
early tonight. No,
10.
we could take another
I
5 minutes
say this,
to
my
close out.
people,
No.
right? Tonight's show was just on the flip side of what is happening in the country right now. It's it's no secret that the country is in election mode, um, because these people are visiting your homes now. Well, I won't say they are visiting; they are sending their messengers. They're sending their messengers. They are not visiting, right? I mean, maybe they go and visit one or two key people, one or two, the three key people in wrong and around in their constituency, but the rest of visits that you will see in the dress up in blue and red is their messengers. So I say this to say that the ball is in your court. If you want to continue this carnage, it can happen. I talk about a coalition government that I am open to, right? Um, I talk about um, sending them a strong message, take their money, right? Because it's all about money. I say this, my people, that my visits. Like I told you, I do not have the 50 on the $100 on the 300 to give you, but I am man enough. I have the heart to step up and serve you. You deserve better. Myself, along with the Belizean justice movement, right, and the independents, are bold enough We do not have the coffers of the taxpayers. We do not have the resources of the country in hand, like the PUP right now, and what the UDP in the past was the tax collector of this country. We do not have the likeness of Ashcroft, right? We do not have the big donors because we are nobody. We do not have the blessings from the media because we have no hands out to give them,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see how they treat us, independent, right? And especially the Belizean justice movement. One or two of them invite us, but that is just maybe to show something, right? Whether it comes from the heart, intentionally done, or for whatever reason, right? But their habitual practice, they are not in line with a third party, not in line. Um, for those of you who says that how we run the country and who, if you think we could run the country, the same way Johnny Briseño came in and his minion, they didn't have a damn clue to run this country. Same way the UDP came in, run this country. Look at the past representatives of the UDP and PUP that you have had and voted for. Do they ever bring any degree that they could have run this country for you? Bring a paper and show you? No, you entrusted them and what they did to you, right? So I take offense when you think that others, like myself and the Belizean justice movement and other independents, cannot run this country better. Take grave offense for you fanatics who think that we cannot do a better job. Well, I'm telling you here tonight, through our medium, that we can do a better job for you. A better job. And we will be well accountable. We know when they hide nothing. We will bring back the country to the people where it rightfully belongs. We will pass UNCAC on the very first sitting down. UNCAC will be passed because you know why I'm so passionate? We need to hold some of them accountable for their deeds. Not things that they didn't do, for things that they have done to the people and the nation. Because there are lots of things that they have done to the people and that they shouldn't have done. Right? So UNCAC, past UNCAC will be the first priority. Right? Bring this country back to the people. A republic, Belize, is a no-no. Tampering with the Constitution is a no-no. So, if in fact that you want that change and it happens, that mission that they have with our Constitution will be null and void. Whatever that chairman had submitted, we will. You see how we tear up that report from the PUP. I mean, from the UDP, that deal that they made with Feinstein and all the Porto, when he tore that up in the house, we will do the same thing to that report that went back, that Briseño have in his back pocket, from that Constitution Reform Committee. We will tear that up. Our Constitution will remain the way it is if we get the chance. Right. So, making lives better, equip our security forces, so passionate about our medical facilities, The hospitals, we will equip it properly, and we will not have no baby, no baby at all trying to equip our hospitals. We will do the right thing, and we will not lie to you. That's a no, no, no lying, right? We will tell you the truth. But anyway, my people, I want to thank those. Leonard, can you see any one that we want to thank right now?
We have Miss Rubina Forte, and she said good night all, and I responded to her with a care emoji. We have Mr. Byron Contreras,
Aaron Contreras.
big
Yeah.
up
Thank you.
BGM, Mr. Rudy, and I haven't replied to him yet.
Thank you, my brother.
And we
Baron
have
Contreras,
Mr.
thank you
Rudy
very much,
Wade.
my brother.
Yeah, you replied to Mr. Byron there just now, so that's nice. It says Byron Contreras, thanks, bro, for supporting. God bless you and the family.
Thank you very
And
much. And it's always a pleasure, Leonard, to sit in your company,
same here,
right?
sir.
And
Pleasure
my
is mine
people,
too.
only you, the people, can save the people. Only you, the people, can save the country. So if you want to continue down the same path, well, it's your choice. But the choice will be on the ballot come March 12th. The choice for change will be there. If you missed it, then you will be doomed again for the next 5 years again. Okay, on that note, I want to say good night. Thanks to all those who will tune in to us later on, Leonard, and watch us later around the world. I
And
want to thank all our
thank,
supporters.
thanks again to everyone.
Thank
And
you.
this was the Belizean Affairs Show number
No, 264.
264. 264. One more for us to get to 265, Mr. Wade.
It's coming. It's
And
coming.
hopefully I'll be able to render something worthy of the people's attention on Friday when we do that 265. Good
Thank
night,
you.
Belize and Belizeans. God bless always.